The Atlas. We saw a spectacular knockout in our opening bout. Next up, Lawrence Hughes and Ke'Andre Gibson. And there is Lawrence Hughes. He's 27 years old. He goes 5'7", 142 and a nugget. Comes from right here in St. Louis. Had 94 wins as an amateur. Did all the Golden Gloves. Started boxing at age 8. He's now 4-0 with 3 knockouts. And there is Ke'Andre Gibson, a 21-year-old from Berkeley, Missouri, 3-0-1 with a couple of knockouts. He turned pro in October of 2010. This already his 4th fight of 2011. They are scheduled for 6, and Mike England is the referee.
Okay, fellas, I gave you instructions in the dressing room. I expect a tough, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Look right here, man. Be quiet and listen to me. Right here, anything right here is going to be a low blow. If his pants are up high, right here is going to be a low blow. You guys see that? Just touch them up right here. Go back to fight.
These guys are talking some smack, B-Hop.
Yeah, this is early in their career. They want to learn how the mind games go.
Right. Back in the corner, bud. Back in the corner.
How do you play the ref's instructions stare down moment?
On the platform?
How do you plan for that? Do you say, here's what I'm going to do, or do you just go with what you're feeling at that moment?
I mean, it's instant. You go what you feel. You go how the rhythm. And mostly you go how your opponent acts. But most of the time it's just you're there. You get a chance to get one more stare down. You get a chance to do one more body language. And then the fight has to happen.
So you've been doing some mental warfare in a lot of your recent fights at this stage of your career. So you size up Chad Dawson, who you're fighting on October 15th. And I mean, right off the bat, do you think you have an approach that you know how to do the mental warfare at that moment against Chad Dawson?
Well, I'm letting him know how I feel. And I got to express that first. And then whatever he takes out of that, it's on him. If he takes intimidation out of it, that's on him. If he don't, then it's going to be a great fight.
Good work here by Lawrence Hughes in the blue trunks.
You know, you rarely get 2 fighters with records this close early in their careers going against each other. I like it too, because it shows both sides have people in their corner that's matching them right, not overmatching them, but putting them right there where they can, really show what they have.
And these are not blue chip kind of prospect guys. These are local guys from Metro St. Louis. These are guys who have full-time jobs and box on the side, and they're looking for that break so that they can just be full-time boxers. Hughes is a guy that's a healthcare specialist, and Gibson is a cook at Olive Garden.
And listen, we call him Philadelphia as blue-collar workers. This is that blue-collar type of worker and mentality, starting from the bottom all the way up if they can make it there. And, this is where it starts, right here.
He's trying to range find a little bit.
You can see they have some amateur experience, though. You can see the patience. You can see they're not wild. Their feet is in position.
Which often can happen when you make your national TV debut. Keep in mind, this is a swing bout. These guys didn't know that they were going to be on Friday Night Fights tonight, but we had that 4th round knockout by Danny Williams in our opener, so they get thrown into the mix. And many times when that happens, Bernard, you can be a little jumpy. You can be a little anxious, especially in that in the first round.
And if you look at their bodies, they're not even warmed up. So, they was in their dressing room. They say, hey, you up next. What? I'm up next. So here they are. They haven't even broke a sweat yet. So they wasn't prepared to come out on a swing bout. They was prepared to come out when they supposed to come out. And you're right. They had to click mentally and be ready physically, and here they go.
It is fight number 5 of their career for both men. Do you remember your 5th fight, Bernard?
I've been boxing so long, I don't remember my first 5.
It was May of 1990 against Hughes Mercado in Rochester, New York. You won with a 2nd round TKO.
ESPN.
More when we come back.
What's the big news in Priority Mail flat rate boxes and envelopes?
Local St. Louis guys squaring off here. Round 2 scheduled for 6. We were laughing all during the commercial break because I turned to you at the end of the round and said, do you remember your 5th fight? Hooven Mercado in Rochester, New York, Bernard Hopkins. You won by 2nd round TKO. Not only do you remember it, but unique circumstances with that fight.
Yes, that was an ESPN fight, and I got a call in Philadelphia that they had a fight. It was a top-ranked promotion, and a guy named Ron Katz from Matchmaker. You probably hear this and start laughing if he's watching. And they called me for the fight, and they said, you know, Jovine Mercado went to Rochester, flew from Philly to Rochester, and 5 hours ago I was in Philadelphia, and 5 hours later between
so you're
the promotion, I'm fighting in the ring. Yeah.
You're sitting in Philadelphia in the afternoon. Ron Katz, who's you know, a great matchmaker of this generation, has put forth some of our best fights through the years. Ronnie calls you and says, you have to get to Rochester, New York, and take a fight tonight.
Exactly, and I went there and I fought and I got a knockout. And Jovine Mercado was a prospect. This guy was big, strong. It's a light heavyweight, super middleweight fight.
And by the way, the brother of?
Jovine Mercado, who I won a title. That was a great combination. That was a good combination. He just hit. 5. He just threw a good combination.
7.
So KeAndre Gibson strikes first here, scoring the knockdown in round 2.
And they both was punching, and Andre got there first.
Gibson now, a lot of time to work with, comes in charging with that left hand. Now he just pushed him back that time with the left, and then a series of headshots landing on Hughes.
This is where you go to the body, but again, the right hand went to the body. It shows that he's been taught well in the gym because he went to the body with the right hand.
Hughes trying to get a little steady on his feet. Gibson pauses for a moment. Gibson punched himself out a bit there in the midst of that round?
Well, it's possible he did, but I think that he's kind of probably shocked that he still got his opponent in front of him. But he's still got power, and he's still waiting for a good shot. And I think it's going to be the right hand. Maybe the uppercut or the right hand is going to be the shot that put him back down.
Gibson popping that jab. Hughes standing shoulder to shoulder with him and willing to fire off that right hand. Now he tries to test the body, places an uppercut trying to split the guard, then a left hook as Gibson goes to the belt line with a 2-punch combination.
You know, Hughes should be like a little bit more deep, like he should be thinking now a little bit with jab, maybe step away for a little bit because he's not on really good, strong legs. He's still kind of shaky.
Replay the knockdown when we return. Stay with us.
It's so easy when you know what you're doing. It's so easy when you know how. It's so easy when you know what you're doing. It's so easy when you're doing it now.
Golden Corral's pan-seared seafood cooking stations are open and the reviews are in.
My chef pan-seared my scallops right before my eyes.
It was fresh, it was tasty, it was hot.
It's all part of our endless dinner buffet for one incredibly low price. Only at Golden Corral.
Hey, see Gibson? He throws the right hand, and Hughes had his left hand down, and he got hit with a great shot, and he was throwing a punch himself. But by his hands being down, the left hand, he got hit with the right hand by Gibson.
So KeAndre Gibson, 3-0-1 fighter from here in Missouri, scoring the knockdown.
Stop. Quit holding, right?
Against St. Louis's Lawrence Hughes. Just a couple of local guys going at it here on national TV. See the power punches in round number 2. Gibson, of course, one of those 16, making that a 10-8 round.
Stop. Let's go.
Gibson right now is getting a little bit of sloppy. I think he abandoned his jab, but he has to throw that jab and set it up again. I mean, the shots there because he's landing it, but Hughes keeping his left hand real low. And so Gibson can come over with that right hand. That's what he sees. He's batting the hand down, but he should come with the right counter and left hook after that.
Hughes working that right hand, most of that being blocked, though, by Gibson. Just paring away that flurry. Opened up again, Bernard.
Yes, Gibson missed the right, but he got him with the left because he threw the left after.
Oh,
and he just hit him another right hand. That right hand is there for Gibson.
3, 4,
He was off balance,
5,
stepped forward, and then
7.
went down.
Hey, walk to me, baby. Walk to me. You all right? You gonna continue? Here we go, box.
When Hughes look at this tape, he's gonna realize that his left hand is down too low, and he gets countered every time. Gibson counter him every time because he sees the left hand down, his hand is up, and he's throwing that right hand with the knockout intentions.
Come on, let go of him, fight out there. Watch that elbow, man.
Did you see on that break that time when Gibson just snuck that elbow in a little bit as they were separating?
That was the 1950s move.
No, that's actually a current day Bernard Hopkins move.
Sometime.
You have every single tool on the tool belt when it comes to that stuff. Left hook, opened up, nearly got caught again.
Gibson go up with that right hand. Hughes is going to be on the ground again because he's throwing it with bad intentions. That is Gibson. Gibson looked like he's trying to really end this fight with that right hand.
There's a right hand again as we close out round number 3, and then he hits him with a solid left that lifted the head.
Get off of him, get off of him.
If he survived this round, I'd be surprised.
Time.
Bernard.
Well, the right hand. I mean, he caught him with the right hand twice. One in back. That last was in back of the ear.
And then the end of the round.
This was the worst part about it because he got hit again, and he's still hurt.
The way he looked when he walked back to the corner, you really didn't know if Lawrence Hughes was going to be able to continue this fight. Here he is now starting round number 4 as Gibson is in complete control.
And he's feeling very confident, and he should. I mean, he's looking at shots. He's looking at him. He's giving him fakes. Left hand. I mean, he see the target. Hughes is like right in front of him. He's not moving. He's not circling. He's standing right in front of him being the target for Gibson.
Hughes came in at 4-0. Both guys from this Metro St. Louis area. Both guys had plenty of amateur fights. Gibson 94 amateur wins, Hughes 92 amateur wins.
Stop. No holding and hitting him, all right? Don't wrap him up and hit him.
A warning from referee Mike England.
You know, Gibson's still on shaky legs. His balance is off. He doesn't look strong in there. His body language is showing that he's fading very, very fast here.
But in the defensive flaws every time, drops those hands and opens up when he throws a punch.
And Hughes seemed to be the stronger physical fighter here. He seemed to be physical than Hughes. So
there's a left hook now by Hughes. One moment of an offensive assault.
And these punches are good because he's throwing them, but they block, they've been blocked. But he gets the worst of any combination.
On that exchange he did. As Gibson fired off again. Reminder, we've got a good main event coming your way. Kermit Cintrone trying to bounce back after his upset loss in July. He'll be taking on Antoine Smith, who every time, Bernard, Antoine Smith is on ESPN as an underdog, guy comes up with a win.
This guy steps up for fights that he ain't supposed to win, and he seems to pull them off. Not only one, not only two, three. He continued to fight on ESPN and make upsets come to pass.
And this is a critical fight for both men in our main event tonight. Smith, obviously a big opportunity fighting a recent title holder. And for Kermit Cintrone, man, as you said earlier, all the chips are being pushed in. He just is returning to the ring saying, we've got to forget what happened in July. I need to go out and impress and show everybody that I can be right back to where I belong. That is coming up in our main event. For now, wrapping up round number 4 here. Lawrence Hughes, Ke'Andre Gibson. Gibson in control. 2 rounds to go. Antoine Smith, Joe Tessitore, and Bernard Hopkins with you ringside as Bernard fills in for Teddy Atlas. Bernard Hopkins, who according to Dan Rayfield is the #4 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. You're 46 years old.
Yes.
46 years old. You're the #4 pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Hey, listen, that's something to celebrate. But, you know, I'm trying to work my way up to #1.
You know, I'll never put anything past you, Bernard.
Pacquiao, move up.
Got a couple of Filipinos in front of you with Pacquiao and Nonito Donaire. Martinez holding that #2 spot according to ESPN.com.
Hey, you know, the only thing I don't see in Gibson is body shots. He throw a little bit more body shots. He can make this fight a little bit more easy than it's already been. But I think that body shots has been abandoned in this fight.
You're right. He's been headhunting, all headhunting, but he did score the 2 knockdowns with the right hands to the head, and he had Hughes hurt badly at the end of round #3. He's a little steadier on his feet now, taking steps forward and trying to re-engage in this fight.
And Hughes is tough. I mean, he's tough, but one thing about head shots compared to body shots, you can't shake off a body shot.
That's right.
They stay with you for rounds, trust me.
As Oscar De La Hoya found out against you.
And Hughes saying, look, I've been down twice, and I'm still in this fight. I mean, you know, he's going to put up the rest of these rounds. He's going to try to at least gain something back from it. And look, anything can happen in boxing. One thing about boxing. He's being more aggressive now in these rounds.
Yes.
Than in previous rounds. Is Gibson a little tired? Is he resting? Is he trying to preserve his energy for the next couple of rounds? Or is he trying to get Hughes to be too confident in punching between those combinations and catching again? I haven't gave Hughes a round. What about you, Joe?
I mean, he's got the 2 10-8 rounds against him also. He's in a huge hole. He's going to need something special to happen here down the stretch of this fight. But we had something special in the form of a 1-punch knockout in our opening bout. Danny Williams, a spectacular knockout of Antonio Cervantes. We will show you that a little bit later on. You can also always go to ESPN.com and watch highlights of Friday Night Fights. That knockout will surely be on there. And you can go to ESPN3.com and watch the full rebroadcast of Friday Night Fights whenever you want. So 1 round to go here between Hughes and Gibson as we come to the end. That's a good sign for the punch of the night.
I was just thinking of that. I mean, listen, Citron got to top that, and once somebody got the main event has to top that, because right now that's the leading, maybe in the month of boxing.
Yeah, it's a sensational knockout there. And there's a look at Bernard Hopkins' card. The 2 10-8 rounds, just a huge hole to overcome in a 6-round fight as Gibson was able to get to Hughes with right hands in the 2nd and 3rd. Had him hurt very badly at the end of 3. So give credit to Lawrence Hughes for being game as he tries to shake off that right hand.
That right hand hurt.
No doubt it did.
That right hand hurt.
And his hands are down as if he's trying to draw in
if Gibson. If Gibson right now continue to let those hands go, this fight's over.
He's snapping his hand.
The right hand will be the one to end it.
Another right hand reigns in.
This is where the referee should right now take a step in and look.
Yeah, Hughes is taking punishment.
He's taking punishment, and I don't think this fight needs to go any further if he take any more punishment like he just did this round.
Hughes looking to snap that jab off the hip. And he's a game kid, 27-year-old, local guy facing the 21-year-old 3-0-1 Ke'Andre Gibson.
It seems like Gibson can really end this fight if he steps on the gas and wants to. It seems like he just
turns it on and off, doesn't he?
Yes.
Offense.
Yes. And again, he haven't went to the body with none of those combinations, and that would have been probably the result would have been a win for him, a TKO win or a knockout. The counter right hand, that was, I mean, he's doing the Floyd Mayweather, the shoulder, and he's countering with the right hand.
Little shoulder roll and then coming back with the right hand. That was a chopping over the top right hand that time, as he almost got him in the back of the head. Looking to close the show, looking for the knockout here in the last 45 seconds. Did I hear you say earlier tonight that you're very hungry for a knockout because you haven't had one since 04? You've had great success. You're the light heavyweight champion of the world, but that you're hungry for a knockout?
True. That's the truth. I said that.
You're not going to predict a knockout against Chad Dawson, right?
Well, I'm going to predict that either I get him out of there by KO or TKO.
Really?
I have to swarm this guy because his personality says if I don't want the fans to go to sleep. So I'm letting everyone out there know, worldwide, that this is going to be a fight that somebody has to go to sleep because I'm going to make the fight.
And it's coming up on October 15th. Bernard Hopkins, Chad Dawson for the light heavyweight championship of the world as Hughes and Gibson go the full route of 6 rounds. And they're talking smack after the fight. You know, typically guys fight and they embrace, they have that shared mutual respect for each other, just having had that experience. But these two are talking trash after the fight.
They are, but you know, they had a great opportunity to talk a lot of trash about fighting.
Listen, last week we had Vernon Harris and Tim Coleman who couldn't hate each other more, and they're embracing after the fight. Then you get something like this.
Yeah, this is something that doesn't happen all the time in boxing. Matter of fact, I haven't seen it in years where, you know, it's still some animosity there even after the fight's over with. But, you know, it was a good fight.
We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll hear from the judges as Hughes and Gibson settle down.
With gout, high uric acid can lead to more attacks. If you have
Bernard.
Yes, I mean, that was a perfect shot.
He would score with it again in round 3, but at the end of round 3, I thought he really had Hughes out.
I mean, right there with the left hook, I thought he was out myself, but he hung in there. It shows he's a tough guy.
Although he almost visited with you in round 6 as Gibson went on the attack and nearly put Hughes through the ropes into Bernard's lap. Animosity between these two local Metro St. Louis guys, but as we will hear in moments, it'll be a commanding win for Gibson as we look at Bernard's card with the two 10-8 rounds in there. We send it up to the ring to Thomas Triber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Marty Bickle scores it 59-53. Judge Jackson Harper scores it 60-52. And Judge Jerry Griffin scores it 60-51. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, Ke'Andre, the Truth Gibson.
Gibson now 4-0-1. Hughes, first loss of his career. He's 4-1. We got a good main event from the Ameristar Casino here in St. Charles, Missouri, coming your way. Kermit Cintron, can he bounce back after that upset loss a month ago facing Antoine Smith? For now, we send it back to Brian Kenny.